Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Shabbat
sir.
shalom, everybody. Shabbat shalom. Hey, guys, Jeff, I'm doing my weekly Torah portion. We're here at South Park, something. What's the name of this place? South Mountain. I was close, South Mountain. Men's attack. We're doing our men's attack. Normally we don't do anything because men attack and we're always attacking, but we're gonna rest in the Shabbat today, and we're gonna do the Torah portion because that's what we're called to do. And they'll allow me to do it. I do a weekly one anyway, but you know what, guys? This is a great Torah portion for what we're here for.
Right.
We're here, the elders of the church basically are here gathering. And that's what this Torah portion of Shemini talks about. So I'm going to read just a little bit. I'm going to try to make this short and sweet like all of mine always are. Starts in Leviticus 9. Yeah, some of y'all got that, right? But the thing about it is I don't have a time limit today. So we just ate breakfast. Lunch will not be ready for 2 hours. So I have an hour and a half, correct? That's normally how long we're in church, right? Hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah.
Shemini, it means eighth. It's Leviticus 9:1 through 11:47. If you've read the Torah portion, then maybe you'll see where I might go with this, but hopefully not. Hopefully I'm going to put a spin on this that will go with what we're going through this weekend. Your time is everything. Me and Al was talking about this, and someone else. All the Torah portions are good, guys. They really are. But sometimes the Torah portion comes along at the right time. And this Torah portion, if you'll take it in and accept it the way the Lord has led me to bring it, I think you'll see it's really the perfect Torah portion. Lorenzo, thank you for blowing the shofar for where we're at. Not only in today, but in our walk and in our lives as men of the church, men of Yodeh Vaveh, elders of the church who need to go about and do his work. So I'm going to read this chapter real quick. And on the 8th day, it came to be that Moshe called Aaron and his sons and the elders of Israel. And he said to Aaron, take for yourself a young bull as a sin offering, and a ram as a burnt offering, a perfect one, and bring them before Yodeh Vaveh. And speak to the children of Israel, saying, take a male goat as a sin offering, and a calf and a lamb, both a year old, perfect ones, as a burnt offering, and a bull and a ram as a peace offering, to slaughter before Yodeh Vaveh, and a grain offering mixed with oil. For today Yodeh Vaveh shall appear to you. I want you to remember that. We're going to circle back to that in a little bit. How today Yodeh Vaveh is going to appear to you. And they took what Moshe commanded before the tent of appointment. That word appointment, and in the King James Bible is congregation. It means moed. It means his appointed day, his festival. And we're gathering here. We're not in a tent, but you know what? We're in his moed, his appointed time. Jacob, we're in his festive time. Here's the day that I want people to understand the love for the Shabbat that we should have, is that we can, because the veil was torn when Yeshua died, Lorenzo, we can now enter into the Holy of Holies anytime to meet with him. But the Shabbat, you see, in the dictionary, Sabbath means a day of rest or worship. That could be any day. People take sabbaticals for 2 weeks. But Shabbat in Hebrew is Shabbat. And that's when Yodeh Vaveh said, this is the day, Jeff, that I will meet with you. I want to meet with Yodeh Vaveh on the day he says, I want to meet with you. Eric, that's exciting to me that the king is saying, today I will meet with you, Daniel. I can go meet him tomorrow, Lorenzo, but he said today I'm going to be here. Today I'm going to show myself. I've lost my place already early in this lesson. Yeah. Somebody raised the talk from, and all the congregation drew near and stood before Yodeh Vaveh. And Moshe said, this is the word which Yodeh Vaveh commanded you to do. There's a word he commands us to do. We need to remember there's a pattern that Yodeh Vaveh has given us that we must live by. If we want to be successful as Christians and walk the way we should, we got to walk by his pattern. We don't need to walk the way we want to walk. We don't need to bring, and I'll get into it, strange fires into the church. We need to walk the pattern that he has assigned us. And that's what we're going to get into a little bit. So that the esteem or the glory of Yodeh Vaveh appears to you. When you walk in his pattern, his glory will appear to you. When you don't walk into his pattern, you bring strange fires into the church. Well, we'll get to that next chapter. And Moshe said to Aaron, go to the altar and prepare your sin offering and your burnt offering, and make atonement for yourself and the people. And make the offering of the people and make atonement for them as Yodeh Vaveh has commanded. Do y'all see the pattern of the pattern? Do as Yodeh Vaveh has commanded. So Aaron came near to the altar and slaughtered the calf of the sin offering, which was for himself. And the sons of Aaron brought the blood to him, and he dipped his finger in the blood and put it on the horns of the altar and poured the blood at the base of the altar. And the fat and the kidneys and the appendage and the liver and the sin offering he burnt on the altar, as Yodeh Vaveh had what? Commanded. Once again, we have a pattern of a pattern. And the flesh and the skin he burnt with fire outside the camp. And he slaughtered the burnt offering, and the sons of Aaron presented him the blood, which he sprinkled on the altar and around. And they presented the burnt offering to him with its pieces and head, and burned them on the altar. And he washed the entrails and the legs, and burned them with the burnt offering on the altar. And he brought the people's offering, and took the goat, which was the sin offering for the people, and slaughtered it, and made a sin offering like the first one. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit, so let's get to this. So he brings all the offerings that Moses had told Aaron to do. Did everything that Moses had told him to do. Verse 22, it says, Then Aaron then lifted up his hand toward the people, and Barak blessed them, and came down for making the sin offering, and the burnt offering, and the peace offerings. Now what we have here, if you didn't catch it, which I didn't at first, was that Aaron had did everything that Moshe had told him to do. So he raised his hand to Barak to bless the people. Nothing happened. Wait a minute. But I did everything I was told to do. Why? What happened? So verse 23, it says, And Moshe and Aaron went into the tent of appointment, which is tent of what? Moed, of congregation, of meeting, of festival. Yod-Heh-Vaveh's appointed day, and came out, and Barak blessed the people, and the glory of Yod-Heh-Vaveh appeared to all the people, and fire came out from before Yod-Heh-Vaveh, and consumed the burnt offering and the fat on the altar. And the people saw and cried aloud and fell on their faces. So what happened? Why, when Aaron did everything he was told to do, and he raised his hand, and he blessed the people, nothing happened, Pierre? Nothing happened. But I've done everything you told me to do. So Aaron, the high priest, and Moshe, one of the elders of the church, went into the tent of appointment, and they prayed. And they came out in Echad. They come out as one. They come together one more time, the priest and the elders of the church. Yod-Heh-Vaveh was not moving like they thought he would, even though they had done Jacob what they thought they were told to do. See, we can follow the pattern that Yod-Heh-Vaveh has put for us to do, and we can do everything. But the thing that he desires the most is for us to do it in Echad, for us to do it in one. So when they went inside and they become a cod and they prayed and come back out, he raised up the hand, and Barak he blessed, and the fire came down, consumed. The glory of Yod-Heh-Vaveh shone on the people because they were what? A cod. Now what we have here this weekend is we have the elders and the priest, wherever Matt's at. We have them here. Matt cannot do it on his own. The praise team can get their songs ready and prepared and practice every day. Lorenzo, Miss Angela can blow the shofar to start the service off, and we hear it. And then you got the praise team praising. Then you have someone like me and Al and others stand up and do the Torah portion to fill the gap from praise going into the worship. Then you have Brother Matt come to bring the word. But if we're not there in Echad as one, from the shofar to the preaching, the spirit of Yod-Heh-Vaveh and his glory will not come down on us. It is our job. There's no more perfect time for this Torah portion than right now as we're gathered here as the men of the church, some on the praise team, some with the Torah portions, and some that speak. We cannot do it by ourselves. Our job, if you've watched one of my Torah portions where I talked about the half shekel coin of redemption, the silver that they took, to be numbered in Israel, you had to bring a half shekel piece of silver. That's how they were numbered. They were not numbered because you went to church. They were not numbered because you blew the shofar, because you did a Torah portion, because you played in the praise band, because you preached. You had to have that half shekel. And they took it and they melted it down. And they made the attachments that hold the tabernacle together. And they made the pillars outside to protect the church. That is our jobs, especially as men of the church, to take that half shekel that has the monetary value of 28 cents right now. So think about it, guys. Yeshua died on the cross for a little more than a quarter for that half shekel coin of redemption that we as men should take and be the attachments of the church. That is our job, to be a cod, to hold the church together. Y'all hold me in here. I would not be here right now, probably not even in church, if it wasn't for this men's attack last year, because I come here at a crossroads of my life needing attachments. I needed those pillars. I needed a cod. I needed men of the church to reach out to me and pull me in and hold me in church. And y'all did that. Y'all held me in church. And because of that, I'm able to spread the word and touch lives because y'all held me in church. Y'all were that half shekel silver melted down. There was the attachment that grabbed me when I wanted to leave and said, stay, Jeff. You had no idea. And then Matt and Jason and Vicky just begging me to do a Torah portion. I didn't want to do it. I felt so unworthy. And you've heard me talk about that. But it all started here a year and a week ago because these men gathered at Eigth as one. And we were that attachment, and you pulled me in and you held me in church. And I hope and pray that something I've done and said in that year maybe helped you stay attached to the church, to stay closer and draw closer to Yodevave because of what y'all did for me. I can never thank y'all enough. I could stand there and cry the rest of the day and thank you and thank you and thank you, and it would not be enough. But it doesn't end there. It doesn't end there. Shemini means eighth. That's the key. Oh my, I ate would be the name of this if I went with an oh my. And I don't mean we just ate breakfast, I mean the number 8. What that number 8 signifies. We got to look. What this happened was they had just got through building the altar and consecrating it. And so now they're going on the 8th day for what? A new beginning, a new life. We're starting over. Creation was in 7 days. They rested on a Shabbat, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to rest. We're going to Shabbat. We're going to enjoy fellowship. We're going to Heichad and lift his name up. Teruma. When we Teruma and lift his name up, the Holy Spirit, the Ruach HaKodesh, will blow the wind and move him, and we're going to move with him, and that's what we need to do. When we lift him up today, Heichad, like the way he wants to be in Teruma, when that Ruach HaKodesh blows him, let's follow him, guys. Let's follow him where he goes. But the main key is this. When he stops, let's stop with him. Too many times we keep going because I want to say what I want to say. He wants to preach what he wants to preach. You want to play the music you want to play. You want to blow the shofar like you want to play it. We can't do that, guys. When he moves, let's move with him. When he stops, let's stop with him and rest. And I promise you, he'll probably stop on a feast day or Shabbat. That's when we should rest in him. My call, my cry out for this message is this. Let's be a Cod. Let's Teruma. Let's lift him up this weekend as the way the men of the church should. But tomorrow when we leave is the 8th day. Let's leave with a new beginning, a new life. Let's go back in mind, a Cod, to lift fit up through Teruma of Yodevave. Be that half shekel melted down, that attachment that pulls the church together. Let's be that pillar fence outside that protects the church. But let's go back with a new revival. Let's get revived today. Let's rest in him. Let's leave tomorrow on the 8th day with a new beginning, a new meaning in our church of being what? A Cod. Let's be that half shekel silver melted down that holds the church together. That is our job, guys, to lift him up, to pray for the ones who play in the praise band. Anybody does anything in that church, because it's hard from blowing the shofar to praise music, to Torah portions, to preaching, to cleaning, to cooking, all of it. We're one body, different attachments, but we hold each other together.
Amen.
So let's leave. Let's have a great time the rest of the day. But tomorrow when we leave and we say, Shalom, let's be Shomar Shabbat, anticipators of Shabbat for next Saturday. But keep in mind, let's go with a new meaning in our minds that we are the men of the church. We are the attachment that holds fit together. We are the attachment that hold the kingdom of Yodevave together, the army together here on earth. Let's Teruma, let's be a Cod, and let's be Shemini. Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.